Hey all, so we've gone over traffic by channel, organic traffic by topic, and the next level of analysis that you should be doing during the due diligence process for potential acquisitions is traffic by landing page and keyword bucket. This is really going to give you the level of granularity you need to identify a lot of the opportunities and risks that are associated with a potential buy and some of the stuff that you want to potentially stay away from and the investments that look really solid and diversified, which is the name of the game here when it comes to looking at this granular level of keyword and landing page data. So we're going to jump into a specific example and how to set up this analysis to really help you inform your investment thesis. So we're starting off in the Ahrefs top pages report here to look at traffic by landing page. So similar to how we started on the traffic by topic analysis and downloading a lot of this data, this is the same exact source that you'll use for traffic by landing page data as well, or you could potentially download the entire organic keywords report and then just pivot that by landing page. But really what we're trying to get at here is what's the business's overall reliance on its top landing pages? So what percentage of traffic does the top 10, top 20 landing pages on the site make up? Because that can certainly introduce a lot of risk if it's super top heavy, right? If a high percentage of the overall organic traffic footprint really just relies on a couple of pages or a couple of keywords, it could topple over real fast and you could lose a ton of business value if one or two rankings slip. So you're really looking for a diversity here and really strong traffic breadth across a lot of different landing pages to really de-risk the traffic footprint of the asset. And you're also looking for business value here, right? You want to look at are a lot of the top pages that are driving traffic to the site really important for your bottom line and something that you can really get a lot of leverage out of and create a lot of business value out of post-acquisition. So I just have a couple of examples up here in the e-bike industry, which is a really popular and lucrative one with lots of affiliate offers. And you can see, I'm just looking at electric-biking.com. I think this is a classic example of a site that is really reliant on just a few pages for traffic. So you can see here immediately from the top pages report that their top page, the fastest electric bikes page, makes up 21% of their estimated organic traffic. So obviously you want to verify this with the seller if you're looking at buying this site or any others that you're looking at with first-party data, but this gives you, I think, a good head start on your due diligence analysis using third-party tools like Ahrefs or SEMrush or whatever else for trying to break down their traffic footprint by top landing pages. So what I would do with this data is just export it, and then you're going to throw it into a spreadsheet and essentially do a lot of these same analysis techniques that I went over in the traffic by topic analysis, grabbing the category breadcrumbs, as well as sorting everything and organizing everything by content type, which I think is going to just help you get an overall better picture of where a lot of the traffic is coming in today. So if we go over to just a pivot of all of this data, this is just the Ahrefs export and really nothing else. You can see that if we just highlight their top 10 landing pages for electric-biking.com, that it makes up almost 77% of the total organic traffic that's coming into the site. This site is incredibly top heavy, and it's certainly a risk that you want to highlight in your investment thesis for whether or not you actually want to buy it because of those risk factors. Now, I don't love this site in general, but I think it's a good example of just being super top heavy. If I were to buy a site in the e-bike niche and the capital for it, I think Electric Bike Report is actually a much better buy, even though it is also a bit top heavy in terms of the top 10 content quality. Much better on this site. Anyways, getting back to our top pages analysis, this is really, like I said, just going to give you a really good view of what pages are really making up the majority of the traffic footprint. And then if you do grab content types and topics, you can throw this in here as well and really understand the types of content that make up the majority of their traffic footprint as well. So you can see here that it's mostly roundups, best of terms that are making up the traffic footprint, 85% for this site versus only 11% for reviews and only about 4% for supporting informational content. So definitely something to take into consideration as you're building your due diligence. The second level of analysis that you need to do here, past landing page, really the next level down, is looking at keyword buckets and individual keywords. And again, how top heavy is the site? Where is a lot of that traffic or estimated traffic coming in today? Ideally, you're getting Google Search Console access at some point during the diligence process to look at individual keywords and how much those make up of the traffic footprint. I've seen several due diligence cases where Ahrefs or SEMrush or any third-party tools are super off in terms of the estimated traffic that they think a specific keyword is bringing in to a site, where you may believe it's a lot more top-heavy than it actually is, just because of a dampened click-through rate on like a big brand term or something like that. So we're just going to go back to Ahrefs here and the organic keywords report, and you can download this entire export of all organic keywords, or you can mess around with some of the filters up top here to get down to your head, shoulder, and tail term buckets for the organic keyword footprint for this entire site or whatever site that you're analyzing. So I mentioned head, shoulder, and tail terms. Those are basically just the different volume buckets for the organic keyword footprint. So head terms are typically going to be your biggest terms within the category. It's really going to depend on how big your category or niche is as to what you define a head term as. But typically for me, it's mostly going to be stuff that's like over about 10,000 searches a month. Shoulder terms are going to be in the middle, anywhere from about 1,000 to 10,000 searches a month. And then tail terms are going to be stuff that is lower volume, under 1,000 searches per month. And typically for a lot of sites are going to make up the majority of the traffic footprint just by virtue of how long the long tail is. So you can use these volume filters up here. Like let's say we just want to filter down to what shoulder terms are. 1,000, 10,000 searches a month. And you can easily see those different buckets here to gauge what percentage of total traffic is coming from some of the top terms in those areas. So you can use the filters up here. You can use position filters here as well to look for stuff that's like top of page 2, bottom page 1 with a lot of additional opportunity. But what we're going to do is just export this guy, head back over here, and then I just dumped this entire organic keywords report into a keywords tab. And then just added in the keyword bucket, just using a little if statement based on the monthly search volume, and then pasted as values so my Google Sheet doesn't choke. And then from there, we're just going to pivot that data. And you can see here I have the term type, or what bucket it falls into, and then I have keywords nested underneath that, as well as the position here, which we can actually change to average. This guy. And then the sum of current traffic represented as a percentage of the total column. So from here, if you're looking at reliance on different terms, you'll just want to open up a lot of these different buckets and understand what percentage of total traffic is coming from some of these top terms and in what positions that site is ranking on those terms on. And then again, kind of same inferences here as the traffic by landing page analysis and determining, are they super top heavy on any one given term? Now, you'll want to, again, kind of re-verify this with first-party data. I've definitely seen some instances where Ahrefs or SEMrush or other third-party tools have significantly overestimated the amount of traffic that one term or one group of terms is pulling, when in actuality it's not that important for the business, and that was certainly something to take into account in terms of the risk profile. But just doing your kind of same analysis here on reliance on top keywords, also want to make sure you're looking at business value of these top keywords. Are there a lot of highly monetizable keywords that make up the majority of their traffic footprint, or is a lot of just like really non-transactional, very informational keywords that are driving a lot of the traffic to the site? So a site may be doing, 1 million, 2 million visitors a month, but if the majority of that stuff is terms that you don't really care about or can't get a ton of monetizable value out of, in that immediate period post-acquisition, that could certainly be something that is not as attractive as maybe some other assets that you're potentially looking at buying, and important to note as part of the risks and opportunities that are associated with the asset. In addition to business value, I'm also looking at just average position in each of these buckets, as well as mashing this up with my topical analysis to understand what the average position looks like in those different topical buckets. And then I'm also looking at striking distance keywords. So the stuff that is top of page 2, bottom page 1, that you can get to a ideally top 5 position for your main categories or whatever your business case dictates. And understanding what are the potential inputs to potentially get to those positions, and is that realistically achievable in the first 6, 12, 18, 24 months of acquiring the business? That's going to be something that you'll want to highlight during your due diligence. It should be part of your investment thesis if there is a really strong opportunity to capture a lot of that immediate traffic growth and value, especially on highly monetizable terms. So, for example, if I had a really strong business case for getting this site to page 1 on best electric bikes, it's within striking distance, top of page 2 for that term, and something that if we certainly have the inputs roadmap to get there and have reason to believe that we can get to that top 5 or even just page 1 position here, that's big leverage for the business that you can use to realize kind of immediate value post-acquisition. So looking at striking distance on these guys, important average position for all of these top keywords and landing pages, and obviously the business value that's associated with the top terms that are driving traffic, top landing pages that are driving traffic, and if they're super top heavy or overly reliant in any one area. So that's about it for this traffic by landing page and traffic by keyword bucket analysis. Hopefully a useful, quick overview of how to do this during the due diligence process. Obviously want to go really, really deep on this for any potential acquisitions that you're looking at doing. Y'all let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.